one of the fastest gaming PCs I've ever built. This is my gaming and PC build for 2025. Ever since I got introduced to the world of small form factor builds during COVID, I just couldn't stop thinking about packing so much power inside such a dense little machine, essentially. All I wanted to do was build pretty much an endgame PC inside of a mini ITX case, something that could handle virtually anything that I throw at it, and most likely probably just a lot of gaming too. Now, I've come a long way from building PCs on a budget to either randomly putting together my first small build inside a microwave, the SG13, to the NR200s, the lean A4s, but now this is the smallest of them all. As for the Form DT1, this is probably the GOAT of all ITX PC cases to hit the market, with its high quality materials such as CNC machined aluminum shell, and great aesthetics to fit into any room without feeling like a large computer. Starting out, it comes flat packed, a handful of different screw types, so it was already a mess to begin with. Additionally, the instructions feel like an IKEA manual, no words, just pictures and some guidance, you could call it. Luckily, there are many guides already out there, and this video is far from being one of them. But if you do want a full PC build guide, please let me know down below. Now that I finally put this case together, you're not quite done. Since it is pretty compact, you really have to think about what kind of components you're trying to fit inside, as there's an adjustable spine like many sandwich style cases out there. From wanting to fit a larger GPU or having a bigger air cooler. You don't have to use just an air cooler though, you can fit a liquid AIO on top up to a 240mm, but you have to use a slim fan plus a regular size fan. So that's not something I've explored yet, but I'd consider it depending on how this thing works out later on. Once it's all put together, it's got everything you need. Inside from the PSU, the motherboard tray, and the GPU on the backside with the PCIe 4.0 riser cable. And it gave me a little bit of trouble there. First item I really wanted to build with was using the ASUS Strix B850i in here, but I was having some issues getting it to post. Alright, so for whatever reason right now, this Strix motherboard is not booting up with me, so I'm going to take the Phantom Gaming ASRock board, take that guy and put it into here instead. So hopefully that will work. So I've gone back to a more value ITX board, the ASRock Phantom Gaming B850i. It's got the lowest price of all B850 ITX boards, but there might be a reason for that though. However, I haven't had any issues with a dying 9900 X3D. Fingers crossed for now. It's got a pretty good I/O panel with 8 USB ports, Wi-Fi 6E, or 2.5 LAN for serious gaming. And this does support PCIe 5.0 for the latest GPUs. Since this is a gaming first build, we're going with the king, AMD Ryzen 7 9800 X3D. With its 8-core, 16 threads, and massive 96 megabytes of L3 cache, you can't go wrong with the buttery smooth gaming, plus the benefit of a killer productivity workhorse. Additionally, it's only 120 watts TDP, so it's pretty ideal for ITX builds without creating too much heat in such a small case. To cool that guy, we went with a little bit of flash. Thermalright AXP's X47 full copper variant. With its bright orange fan and the all copper heatsink, it's got all the cooling capabilities for our 9800 X3D. As for storage, we're hitting it with the crucial P5 Plus 2TB drive. To power this beast, we have Corsair's SF1000. This is probably going to be the new go-to for all future ITX builds. It's got enough headroom for anything in the future, and if I can ever get my hands on a 5090 that will fit in this case, ooh, that'd be a top notch. Now since this build is so compact, we have to exhaust this heat. I went with another Corsair product, the RS120 Max. It's a thick 30mm fan to pull out all the heat that's being dumped by the CPU and GPU. I'll get to that stress test a little bit later. This is the final form inside the T1. Now I love the look of this case, from the aesthetics, where it can fit into any room or desk setup, and it's so minimal. I've even tried sitting it on my bedroom. Also the fact that it's so dang small, it can live on the desk, or I can backpack this to LAN parties. That definitely shows you how old I am. But it's not just about the case, it's the fact that we can pack so much into the Form DT1, having a 5080 and 9800 X3D is truly amazing, along with pretty good thermals too. And it feels a little loud. Just sitting here, obviously there's nothing going on, kids asleep, so toddlers asleep, so I don't want this sounding like a jet engine per se. And just me being quiet for a quick second here, check this out. Pretty audible, I'd say. But if I drop this to like 50%, let's say, right, it will increase the temperatures for sure. But it's way, way quieter, because check this out now. I'm gonna bring the camera even closer. .40 decibels is about where I feel like is acceptable to my ears, and it's not like feeling like a jet engine. And that's right now at the 50% curve across the board on every fan right now. But the biggest, loudest fan is obviously being the graphics card itself. But obviously, as you can see, the GPU is spiking up in temperature, so that's not great either. But with the 75% fan curve, flat fan curve, it's not a curve, it's flat 75% fan speed, you do basically sit at 7 degrees Celsius instead. But here with a 50% fan curve, 50% fan setting, the temperatures do go up. I'll let this run a little bit longer. We're at the 30-minute mark currently, so it's not the best, but we'll see how high it can get now. Okay, I'm gonna jump with the magic of video editing. All right, so it's been a little about 5 minutes, 6 minutes after the 30-minute run or so. The hottest I got this to was about 78.9. I did reset these temperatures at the 30-minute mark just to see how high it would get, but with the 50% fan curve, right? With the 50% fan curve, and we're hitting about 78, 79 degrees Celsius at the end of the day. So yes, it does get hotter, right? Obviously because you have slower fan speeds, but I think I would definitely take the quietness. Now for the productivity side, running Cinebench multi-core on a 10-minute stress loop, it isn't ideal since this will easily hit those top CPU temperatures coming in at 96 degrees Celsius, but stressing out the cooler, it did not thermal throttle, which is really, really great. And running the multi-core test at the end of the day after that 10-minute run got me 1218 total points. As for synthetic bench loads, I'm pretty happy, as well as temperature-wise. As far as I'm concerned, this thing is pretty fast for gaming too. But being a dad, I don't have too much time to game, but when I do get to play my classics such as StarCraft 2 to new shooters like Marvel Rivals, this thing easily hits those high frame rates that I'm looking for. Pairing this with an ultra-wide OLED for those AAA titles, and boy, this is a really, really nice PC and case at the end of the day. On top of that, for the productivity stuff, I've been dabbling a little bit of Lightroom and taking more photographs, and it's really a breeze inside. I'm really amazed that I'm able to export videos so quickly utilizing DaVinci Resolve 2. I haven't had any hiccups at all while doing some video editing on this PC. I'm pretty happy with this as my main rig for 2025. If you've made it to the end, definitely let me know down below if you like this build, especially inside the Formd T1. Also, if you really do like this channel that much, definitely drop a sub up down below. Really appreciate that. Appreciate you being here. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.